Hey, what's up? I usually do a pound for pound list every few months. I haven't done one in a while, so let me do the disclaimer and explain again how my pound for pound list works. It's how everybody's pound for pound list should work. You know, it's who is the best fighter regardless of weight. You know, people put like this guy in here. Well, you know, Klitschko should be on because he's dominated for so many years, and you know, shit like that. It's like who you think is the best fighter regardless of weight. Period. You know, it could be the guy's first fight as a professional. It could be a guy that's never fought a professional fight in his life and he just turned pro. If you saw him like bar fight 50 times and you thought, wow, this guy's fucking awesome, I bet you he'd be a great boxer, and in your heart you think that he could beat the number one guy, then he's number one on your pound for pound list. I mean, period. If you feel that he can beat this guy and he's better, in your mind, he's on your list. That's how it should be, right? Pound for pound, who you think the best in the world is. So, you know, I don't think it has to be earned or anything like that. It's, you know, who you think is the best. Obviously, it's going to be stocked with, you know, welters, junior welters, middles, because right in there you get the best combination of speed and power. Now, I said my last time I'm not going to put anybody under 122 pounds on my list. I just refuse to do it. You know, I'm not going to say to someone, hey, who do you think's the best fighter in the world, Tito? And I'm not going to say a fucking 112, 118 pound guy that I would mop the fucking floor with. That's not cool. I'm not doing that anymore. You know, so yeah. I mean, that being said, dude would be on my list. He's just, you know, Gonzalez would be on my list. He'd be number one, but I'm not doing it anymore. Okay. It's my list. I'll do what I want. You know, I'm sure there's a few Japanese guys on there that everybody pretends they know that I don't. So I don't watch them. So they're not going to be on my list. But this is an honest list. I'm being honest here. Do I think the best fighters are in the world, regardless of weight? Okay. Number one, Rigondeaux. That hasn't changed much. He's been number two forever for me. He was number one up until about last year, and then I said before he got knocked down, I said I don't like he might get knocked down too much, and he got knocked down again. But I had already taken him off, and I put Gonzalez ahead of him. So he's number one. You know, guy's just awesome, best fighter in the world, can't be touched. Andre Ward, number two. It's just clear cut. He's awesome. You know, best fighter in the world, can't be touched. Number three, I got Crawford moving way up. I love what Crawford does, man. Everything he does is just awesome. And, you know, the way he's a switch hitter, you know, he's the best ambidextrous guy that switches. He switches the best switcher I've seen since Marvin Hagler. You know, when you switch, some guys do it for offense and some guys do it for defense. He does it for both because, you know, when you're a boxer, like it or not, you always want to get into position to punch. Whether you see it or not from sitting at home, a guy always wants to start at the position, and he usually does. You just don't see it. And when you're fighting and you're a switch hitter like him, you know, I'm not talking like Rocky, switch it up, you know, mind games. Some guys do the mind games to switch it up in the middle of the fight, but he can switch in the middle of the round, you know, defensively. You know, he does the move, he switches up, and he's just set up for the counterpunch. It's unbelievable, and he's just getting better and better and better at that one, you know, facet of the game. And if he gets better at that, you know, forget it, dude. So I got him number three. Very, very, very impressive the way he's been climbing the ladder. Big Crawford guy. Number three, pound for pound. Number four, I got Golovkin. I don't know if Golovkin's number one. I don't know if Golovkin's number 10. I just don't know, and neither do you. You know, don't give me that, well, a true boxing connoisseur can tell by the eye. No, you can't. You just can't tell. If you're a true boxing person, then you know that you cannot tell. Until he gets in there, every single person he's fought has always been tailor-made for him. They've all been the same guy, and I'm not putting him down. I'm not saying it's his fault. It's his management's fault. They've been doing this. They're smart about it. But every guy's a straightforward guy. But what he does with that, he destroys them. He annihilates them. He's one of the most impressive, fucking fiercest knockout dudes I've ever seen. He's a beast, right? Definite beast. I got him number four. Five, this is a tough one. And he might even be off the list right now, but I'm going to put Pacquiao on there at number five. You know, the Mayweather fight was a huge dud. He looked like shit. He ripped us all off. But he didn't really look like he lost anything to me. And he came back and he beat Bradley, a pound-for-pound fighter, and he looked real good in that fight. And he's had a great career. He's been great his whole career. He's had a great career. A lot of you guys played too much into it, and a lot of it was smoke and mirrors, but all boxers are smoke and mirrors. All boxers are hype. And Pacquiao's just, he's been the man his whole career. And after that fight versus Bradley, nothing tells me that he slowed down that much. I think him and Crawford's going to be a great fight, but I don't think Pacquiao will go anywhere near Crawford. So I got Pacquiao 5th. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5th. 6th, I got Kovalev. And, what can you say? He slipped up in his last fight. I got a little bit overboard and said he sucked, but you all know I've been on the Kovalev wagon for a while. And he's a badass, He's a one-trick pony. He's only got one gear, but he's a badass in it, He's just straight seek and destroy fighter. And him and Ward is just going to be a bloodbath, dude. So I got him. Next after that, I got Felix Verdejo. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, well, he's just a prospect. And what did I say? I said the guys that I think are the best in the world right now, okay? He's the best lightweight in the world right now to me. If he fought any of the lightweights, he'd be the lightweight champion, It's time to keep him moving. He's the best prospect I've ever seen in my life. I've seen him fight live 5 times up close so far, and he amazes me. He's had that little slip-up, but people don't know he got injured. And, he came back in his last fight, and he's back to normal. And I think right now he's the 6th best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, probably higher. But, I'm going to get laughed out of the room for that one. But, oh, well, at least I'm telling the truth. It's what I believe. Oh, fucking well, Felix Verdejo's ready now. And so let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7, 8. I got Erislandy Lara. I don't know why people he's faded into oblivion a little because no one will fight him, dude. People say, oh, this guy's avoided, this guy's avoided. Fucking Lara's avoided, man. Lara's been great his whole career. You could say, does he run? Yeah. And it's not fighting, it's boxing. Maybe you don't like it. Maybe I don't like it sometimes. It's part of the game, and he does it well. He beat Ronald McDonald. I feel that he beat Ronald McDonald. And, you can't get a glove on Lara. After Lara, I got Lomachenko. I don't like that dude, but he's one of the top 10 in the world for sure. And after Lomachenko, I got 10th, Ronald McDonald. Ronald McDonald's jack of all trades, master of none, but he does everything very, very good. Doesn't do anything really great. I think his resume is real good. And, he's been fighting since he was real young. He fought a shitload of people in Mexico and, a lot of club fighters, a lot of setups. But, I don't know. He's been a superstar to me. I think he's been great, He's been good for the sport of boxing, too. I don't really like him, But he sells and he's good. He beat Lara, but I had Lara winning that fight. So that's my top 10 now. What's missing? Who's missing? Bradley's missing in there. Bradley's my favorite guy after Ward out of this whole list, even more than Crawford. But I'm just being honest, man. When I was so psyched for Bradley to beat Pacquiao and look great, and he just didn't show up. And I really think that might have been Bradley's best effort too. And his best effort was coming up short against an older Pacquiao that I thought was fading. So I don't know, man. Maybe Bradley reached his peak. I hope not. And again, I'm just being honest with this list. I hope not. And I feel that all those guys right now are better than Bradley. But I like Bradley better than all of them. I'm just being honest. So hopefully he can get a good money fight and move up. And yeah. So that's my pound for pound list. You fucking do one if you're gonna make fun of my list. All right, dude. Later.